Hey friends, I'm a dad, you all know that, and growing up in the church, I grew up with certain moral teachings, and I have two daughters, and I want to show you a story today that reflects some of the moral teachings we try to share with them. It's important, so let's jump in. Lena grew up in a home where love was modeled in prayers before meals, gentle corrections, and the way her parents still held hands after decades together. But it wasn't just family that shaped her understanding of love, it was her faith. From the time she was 12, she heard the message: Your body is a temple, purity is a treasure. But no one really explained why. So Lena asked God herself, and through her teenage years, she wrestled. Her friends dated and broke up. Many gave pieces of themselves away, thinking it would make someone stay. And every time Lena felt the pressure from culture, from loneliness, from her own desires, she would write a prayer in her journal and place it in a small white box tucked in the top of her closet. Inside, she placed a note she wrote at 14. I want to save myself, even if the world laughs. A tiny wooden heart her father carved for her, symbolizing protection, and dried lavender, because it reminded her of peace. The box wasn't magic. It didn't stop temptation, but it reminded her she was worth the wait. College was harder. She met guys who said, It's just sex. She saw purity mocked as outdated. One guy she almost fell for said, If you love me, you wouldn't make me wait. That night, she almost gave in, but she opened her Bible, flipped through tear-streaked pages, and landed on Isaiah 43, verse 4. You are precious in my eyes, and honored, and I love you. She clutched her journal and whispered, If I'm already loved, I don't need to be bought with compromise. The next morning, she slipped another note into the box. Dear future husband, last night I almost gave up, but God reminded me I'm not waiting to be perfect. I'm waiting because He's preparing something sacred. And years later, she met Micah at a ministry event. He wasn't flashy, but he was rooted. He led Bible studies, volunteered at a recovery home, and when he looked at Lena, it wasn't with hunger, but honor. One night, walking beneath the streetlights after church, she asked nervously, What are your thoughts on waiting until marriage? Micah smiled slowly and said, It's not about waiting just for the sake of rules. It's about believing God's timing is holy. I've waited, and I've prayed for a woman who sees her worth the way God sees her. Tears welled up in Lena's eyes. For the first time, she didn't feel weird. She felt seen. And their wedding was simple but sacred. Worship music filled the ceremony, and their vows were whispered through happy tears. Later, in their candlelit honeymoon suite, Lena handed him the white box. She didn't say a word. Micah opened it slowly. Inside, he found not just symbols, but her heart. There were 14 years of prayers, moments of near failure, letters written in doubt and hope, and a note that read, "This is the last unopened part of me. Tonight I give it freely, not because I have to, but because I choose you, just like Christ chose us." That's beautiful. Micah didn't rush to touch her. He knelt and prayed. God, thank you for this woman. Thank you for her strength, her heart, her journey. May our marriage reflect your glory. And may tonight be the beginning of a covenant that honors you. Now, this isn't a fairy tale about being good enough. It's a story about value, about how God sees us. You see, waiting for marriage doesn't make someone better, don't get me wrong, but it's a way of saying, I trust God with this part of my life too. And intimacy wasn't designed for fear or pressure. It was created as a seal, a binding, a beautiful act of covenant love. And even if you didn't wait, Jesus doesn't shame. He restores, and he makes all things new. Now, you don't wait because you're afraid of sin. You wait because you believe God's timing is holy. God's design is perfect. And God's love never requires compromise. Because the right person won't rush the gift. They'll recognize its worth. And Jesus, the ultimate bridegroom, will always protect what is sacred. God bless you, my friends.